That's all for us at this point here in near the Wasatch Hollow Preserve. For now, we'll send it over to Chief Meteorologist Alana Brophy for, again, the latest on conditions and the continuing temperatures. Are they still going to be warming up, Alana?
The answer to that is a yes, Emily. And, you know, we talked about the 1983 flooding of State Street for years. We still talk about it, and we're going to be talking about this flooding of Immigration Creek for next several years as well, and we are not done just yet. Even in southern Utah, this is Kanab Creek. Judy Keel catching this video with muddy conditions, another portion of the state where we are seeing accelerated runoff. Storm system coming through, dropping snow up in Cache Valley, and we had record warmth the last couple of days. This is what it looked like this morning. So the system coming through, changing the temperature scene just a little bit. As we're tracking that moisture right now, you can see in central and eastern Utah, that's where it's hanging on. We're clearing the north and starting to dry out, but the front is draped throughout the central portion of the state, which is why we're seeing rain towards Grand Staircase all the way down to Kanab. Some thunderstorms embedded in there. Cedar City getting some wet weather over towards Castle Country, and on the eastern side of the state from Moab to Monticello, the storms are on the move. The thunderstorm threat does stick around. It's associated with the lift provided by the front that is now sliding to the east, so the cloud cover really focused in and around the front. We've got clearing conditions and drying conditions in the West Desert, and that's going to continue with that trend as we get through the next several hours, clearing northern Utah, but active skies still holding on. The threat of a thunderstorm, as you can see from the Uinta Basin down to Four Corners, over towards Kanab and even the Wasatch Plateau, and it's associated with the movement of the front you just saw. So we're not done just yet. Drastic temperature drop. My goodness, we were in the upper 70s yesterday. We're sitting at 42 in Salt Lake right now. Springtime swings, 37 in Logan, 40 in Provo, 71 in St. George. Now, the 24-hour temperature change tells quite the story. This is where you can see the major difference that front made. We had those southwesterly winds, and then as the front came through, northwesterly flow, minus 34. We're 34 degrees colder than where we were at this point yesterday. 30 degrees in Provo, even down in southern Utah, 13 degrees colder in Cedar City. Look at Milford, check out Moab, Evanston. So the drastic drop noticeable along the Wasatch Front, and that colder air will continue to flow into the state. But a warm-up is coming back. This is where we get concerned when we talk flooding, because that warmth, we're bouncing back pretty quickly and jumping above the average of 61 in Salt Lake for this time of year. And we're going to do that in the next several days before our next system comes in and jostles things up. So we have to think that when we clear this storm system, clear skies will be out there. Notice the front's on the move. FUTURECAST by 10 p.m. keeps active conditions near Moab, over I-70 and towards Lake Powell. Southern Utah could see an isolated shower, and then eventually by 5 a.m., it's still that target area, trailing moisture with energy and then clearing. We could stay unsettled in the northwesterly flow. We're going to be cool again tomorrow, maybe an isolated shower, but overall, most of the state will see drying conditions and quieter conditions for our Friday. By Friday night, high pressure really starting to make its presence known, and that ridge of high pressure will bring the warming trend and definitely sunshine and calmer conditions, but they don't last. I'll show you what I mean on the long range here. Temperatures in the 40s and 50s for tomorrow. Boy, it's just like that bouncy ball in the spring, right? When it comes to the numbers, we're up, we're down. 50 in Price, 53 in Delta, same number in Cedar, and upper 60s in St. George. Running below average today and again into tomorrow. Find your city, mountain valleys in the 30s for tomorrow, with Park City in the upper 30s. This colder air coming in does have a benefit. We've got accelerated runoff, but that colder air in the high country hopefully will slow this runoff, and that will ease some of our flooding concerns as we get through the next day or so. But as you can see, that warming trend is looming, and that's something that we can't avoid. We know all of that record snow will eventually melt off. It would just be better if we could do that in a slower manner. Here's a look at the St. George 7-day, where temperatures get back to the 80s, then down to the 70s. Winds will be up and down in southern Utah. Wasatch Front has the chance of another storm, but it's not until the middle of next week. We go to the 60s to 70 to 73 on Monday. The winds pick up, and then the chance of wet weather moves in Tuesday, Wednesday, slight chance lingering into Thursday. So below average, and then we get back to average for Saturday with drier conditions and more sunshine. We'll be right back.